currently working on the bodice of the mock-up. I have not sewn a shirt or a pattern like this before, and so nothing's sewn together yet. It's all connected with pins. So far, I've gathered the middle of these top two pieces and pinned them together. Then I pinned them to this bottom piece. So far, this side lines up perfectly. This side does not. So I'm going to be working this out to figure out how I can get this to line up perfectly. Maybe it's just gathered a little too much. Maybe I pinned it in a little incorrectly. But I am confident it will line up and I'll be able to move on to the next step. I have gathered and attached the sleeve. Next, when I connect the front bodice to the back bodice, I will also add the elastic to the bottom of the sleeve to give it that nice puffy look. Now it's time to measure the elastic for the sleeve. In order to get that nice puff sleeve, I'm going to finish it off with elastic. I measured my arm where I believe the sleeve will fall to be about 13 inches, which is the width I'd like for the sleeve to be. Now when cutting elastic, you don't want to just cut at the 13-inch line. You want to leave an inch or two at each side. You can see this is where I marked my measurements, where I actually want to sew, and this is the extra for you to hold on to or feed through your sewing machine, because elastic is a little tricky to deal with. This is my shirt as it stands. Currently, I've sewn this side down, I've pinned this side down, and the sleeve, I'm not really happy with, I don't know how I feel about the sleeve. I wanted it to be puffier, and it's just not giving me the puffiness, and I think I could have made it a little tighter. So for this sleeve, I am going to go down an inch or two and see what that does, if it makes it puffier the way I want it. Like, kind of would want it more like a little higher, but as is, it rests really low. It's not terrible. I just don't know how I feel about it, and that's the whole point of a mock-up, is that you get to try and do different things. And so the rest of the shirt is looking good, I think. I don't know. It's kind of weird. There's this weird bunching, and I'm just not sure about it right at this moment. But I'm going to trust the process and see how this goes. I have completed the other sleeve, and I'm much happier with this one. I only brought it in by an inch, but it seems so much poofier, and this one just seems kind of drab. So I'm going to bring this one in by an inch as well, and then there'll be matching poofy sleeves. Folks, stop everything. I had a realization this morning about this shirt and why it fits so weird. Remember in the beginning when I was sewing this top bodice piece to this bottom bodice piece? Yeah, I sewed it upside down. Let me show you. All right, you see this piece? This is the bodice piece that you sew two of and gather and put together. This is the connecting bottom piece. I sewed it like this because that somehow made sense to me. And this is a bodysuit. It's supposed to go together like this. Like that. So, I'm embarrassed, but it happens, you know. Just gotta pick myself up, seam rip that piece apart, and try again. And hopefully when I do, it'll fit better. You want to gather the top small bodice pieces together. I just kept gathering down until it wouldn't really gather any further. Like that. Then you want to sew those two pieces together as you see here. Again, this is the top bodice piece. Now you want to sew the back bodice piece to the front at the shoulders. There you have it. When sewing with elastic, something like a sleeve, you want to put pins in. So you want to put pins especially in the ends and then the middle, and then the midpoints between the middle and the ends. That way it's just much easier to hold on to as you stretch it out and sew it with the zigzag stitch. Next, you will connect the bottom pieces and you just do it flat, not curved like I did with the mock-up, just flat together. And that way it'll be a bodysuit when it's flipped down. Now I'm going to turn this inside out and sew down the sides, but don't be like me. On the mock-up I sewed this together too, which is a mistake because that's where your legs go. Completed the shirt, as you can see. One thing I didn't do that I kind of regret is the pattern does call for sewing a little lining in, and I thought I'd be lazy. I did do it with mock-up and it worked out really well, but I thought I would just fold this over a tiny bit and just sew it down. As you can see, it leaves it kind of floppy, so it doesn't really work. But other than that, I really love this pattern. My favorite part about this pattern is the sleeves for sure. I like this cinched look, and it's just kind of form-fitting in a really nice way. It has nice puffy sleeves, which are very in trend. So overall, I'm very happy with this pattern. I'm happy with how it turned out for me twice with my practice and with this shirt as well. So I would say give it a go.